Hello and welcome to a Dominaria Draft League. This is Old Man Poole. We've opened up a pretty sweet rare here in Tempest Djinn. I know I've been maybe a little bit overexcited about some of the triple mana cards in my past couple of drafts, but I do think Tempest Djinn is legit. I mean, this card, if you can't play it on turn 3, is fantastic. It's a 3/4 flyer for 3, which is absurd. But even if you're playing this on turn 5 or 6 or something, it's still not, like, terrible. 3/4 flyer is perfectly reasonable on a lot of boards, and this has the potential to get even bigger as you find more powerful cards. This pack is reasonable in general. I do like Grun, although it is pretty bad against some decks if they're really aggressive with, like, Saprolings or whatever else. It means that Grun can't really attack in very effectively. I also like Baloth Gorger. It's 2 good green cards. I think those are the best cards in the pack outside of the Tempest Djinn. But let's take this guy. Also, I guess before we get further in, I really do appreciate everyone that's been so supportive of the channel lately. If you've subscribed recently, commented on videos, thanks so much. You guys are the best. If you haven't, definitely subscribe, join the community. I put a couple of videos out every week, one on Tuesday, one on Saturday. And I'd love to have you guys join the conversation in the comments below. Let me know if you see a pick that you think would be better, or a play that you think I could have run better as well. I'm always in the mood for discussion. Okay, so now that's over, let's talk about Cloudreader Sphinx, probably. This is, I think, not as powerful as Vicious Offering, and probably about on par with something like Call the Cavalry, a little bit better than Keldon Raider. But it is in our colors, and it's a very good card. I could see taking the Vicious Offering here, since it's just powerful removal. But I think that staying on color and staying open has enough merit that I'm just going to take the Sphinx. Ooh, so probably a Deep Freeze here. It's a little bit interesting. So we've passed a fair number of good green so far, so we could just keep shipping it. There's a Llanowar Elves 3rd pick, which is not like absurd. They're, well, I don't know, people took a bunch of commons, maybe a foil over it. Maybe green's open. Interesting. Zhalfirin Void's also pretty nice. I like picking up a couple of these if you're not going real intense on your colors in this format. And I feel like you can kind of go either way. I think you can splash if you get the right cards for it and the right power levels, or Zhalfirin Void's a nice payoff for decks that aren't going super greedy. Still though, I'm just going to take the on-color card in Deep Freeze. I think Llanowar Elves is next most exciting. Garner the Blood Flame has been impressive to me too, but we're a little bit a ways from that. Ooh, interesting. So we've got Squee the Immortal here, which I actually think is pretty fine. Well, we could just kind of shift into a blue-red deck that usually is a little bit more on the aggressive side. Takes advantage of all the powerful wizards and their kind of tempo play. But there's no reason we have to be aggressive. First Eruption, I think, can be fairly powerful too, although I think this is like really good against some decks, like Saprolings it really wrecks, and kind of mediocre against some others. I really don't see much that we're excited about outside of Squee. I mean, Sergeant at Arms is maybe the next best card. Let's take Squee. I think this card's fine. It's a little bit expensive, but buying back a 2/1 over and over is nice. It means you can kind of throw it away for double blocks or... Ooh, wow. So, I guess Squee, I think, does pull its weight. But let's talk about Shivan Fire. There's also, I guess, Sentinel of the Pearl Trident. This re-triggers Enter the Battlefield abilities, which can be powerful. It also saves you from removal, but Shivan Fire, that's just a super late card here. I think it's one of the best commons. I'm surprised to see it 5th. Okay, another Chainer's Torment. I didn't talk about this card in the first pack, but I'm really not a huge fan of it. I know it's a little bit controversial. It does dome you for a fair amount of life, and there's enough bounce in this format that I just feel like Chainer's Torment ends up being pretty bad some of the time. I'm not really sure what we're taking here. I mean, I guess Relic Runner is okay. We have 1 historic spell right now. I guess Squee you can buy back over and over, which is kind of nice. Run Amok is okay, although we're looking to be a little bit more controlling than the decks that I think really want Run Amok. Guess I'll just take Relic Runner. This is not a real exciting card, but it's there if we want it, I guess. So, out of this pack, we've got Befuddle or Radiating Lightning. I think I'm happier playing Befuddle main deck than Radiating Lightning, but against the right, like, Saproling deck, Radiating Lightning, man, it's hard for me to say. I think is really good. There's been a couple of matches already in the format that I really, really regretted not having one of these in the sideboard. So I think I'm going to pick it up now. I don't much like Rescue. Precognition Field I think is kind of a dream. Radiant Lightning looks fine. Alright, so we've got Guardians of Koilos, which has the merit that it can trigger Historic, and also potentially can bring something back to trigger Historic again. We've also got Coldwater Snapper. There are a decent number of like powerful auras in the format. I think this card actually is a little bit better than it looks. A 4/5 body is pretty big. Being hexproof means it's hard to get rid of. And I'm not unhappy playing a Coldwater Snapper if we get a couple of synergy cards. Plummered Explorer is still pretty unexciting. I could see Guardians of Koilos being correct there, but let's try out the turtle. Not much here. This is our original pack coming around. G2 Lava Runners really seems pretty bad to me, so does Skirt Prospector. Orcish Vandal, I guess maybe. We don't have any artifacts right now. I don't think this card's very good, but I guess let's cut red as much as we can. Yeah, no one's in for Premiul's Glorious Rebirth. One of these days, someone's going to make a really sweet deck out of this, but I don't think it's going to be me. Curator's Ward over Guardians of Koilos. Really don't love this card. It can be kind of a divination sometimes. If we're picking up like auras, maybe it would be good with like Coldwater Snapper. I think we would be able to pick up Guardians of Koilos if we want them later. I don't think Curator Ward hits our deck, but ooh. Fear and Void actually wheeling's good. I'm kind of surprised to see this come around, honestly. This is nothing absurd, but anytime you can pick up powerful lands, you're very, very happy with them. And Fear and Void is a powerful land. It's nice because it kind of slots into your deck in addition to the regular spells that you can cast. I'm going to take Blood Tallow Candle here. If we end up with some historic payoffs, it's fine. Short Sword over Relic Runner? Yeah, I think so. Same argument. These are good with historic payoffs, and not embarrassing on their own. Like, these are not cards you're typically looking to play, but if you get payoffs, you get payoffs. So I feel like I felt really, really open for like our first 5 picks or so, and then we fell off pretty hard. Ooh, man, this is a painful pack. It's got Fungal Plots, which is sweet. I really, really do want to play this deck sometime. Also got Slimefoot Stowaway. Also got Shalai Voice of Plenty. Oof. Shalai is really at its best if we are green, too. But what are we taking here? Like, Coldwater Snapper seems terrible. I'm just going to take Shalai here, I think. We're not necessarily married to red. Maybe... white didn't seem particularly open, but I think Shalai is too powerful to just give up. Okay, here... So if we're going to try and play this, we kind of want to hedge towards blue-white then. In which case, like, E2 Chronicler is pretty good, but we've got Blink of an Eye and Merfolk Trickster, which seem pretty powerful. Probably going to take the Trickster here. It is double blue, but maybe we end up being, like, very heavy blue and splashing for a couple of colors or something. The Trickster is very powerful. A 2/2 flash for 2 is already good, and being able to, like, either make an opponent's creature lose flying or something, or just tap down a creature and get in for damage or something else, is all a deal I'm good and excited about. Another Vicious Offering here, if we'd gone down the Black Road. All the Thran, there's a reason it got passed here. So, got Fear and Void, although I think it's possible that will come around. It's not impossible that we're going to actually end up being a couple like extra colors now too. I think we're just gonna take Aven Sentry here. Works well with Shalai. Works well with kind of the maybe flying-ish deck that we're putting together right now. There's another Squee. It's kind of funny. I think Squee is a good role player, but not as strong as Shalai. And I think I'm just gonna take Cloudreader Sphinx here. I could see taking Blink of an Eye. I think the Sphinx is more powerful, although having some diversity is maybe good. If we're cutting that at least, and maybe Shivan Fire, I think I'm still going to take the Sphinx, although it hurts me to pass another Blink of the Eye. There's Adeliz. If we'd been on the aggressive sort of blue-red deck, we'd be excited with that. But I think I'm actually just going to take like Mesa Unicorn here. I could also see Sergeant at Arms, but in the really aggressive matchups, Lifelink I think has actually been pretty nice in the format. Yeah, let's take Mesa Unicorn. Adeliz is a very, very good card, don't get me wrong, but we actually aren't super heavy on wizards right now, and if we can play white, I'm kind of on board for white. Oath of Teferi doesn't do much despite being a double-colored card in our colors. You get to flicker something and then activate lots and lots of Planeswalker abilities. If we get a Planeswalker, I guess that's cool, but not something we can count on. Invoke the Divine as a sideboard option or Divination. I think I might need a Divination here, actually. We're a little bit light on playables for halfway through the second pack, so I'm not sure we can push towards sideboard cards. And Divination's okay. Opt here, another Divinate, Jousting Lance, or Artificer's Assistant. I know a lot of people really do like this card a fair amount. I'm kind of on the fence. I don't think it's fantastic. If you have a lot of historic cards, maybe it gets going. It's a pretty bad top deck, and even when you have it in your opening hand, I don't think it's going to be nuts all that often. It's going to be like a 1/1 flyer that scries you once or twice, which I think is fine, but not even like absurd in the best case scenario. You don't take Opt here over Divination. Ooh, Karn's Temporal Sundering. We have exactly one legendary permanent for it right now. Not great. Take another Relic Runner. Could take Navigator's Compass as bad fixing. I really don't like playing this card. Guess we're just gonna take Relic Runner. If you are in like the nut historic deck and you really, really need fixing for a couple of different colors, I'm okay taking Navigator's Compass. That's really the only case. Take another Coldwater Snapper. I think I'm just gonna take Invoke the Divine at this point. Having one of these is pretty nice. And then we get another chance at the Snapper. Can't believe Chronicler's around this late. We might actually be playing Blood Tallow Candle as well in this deck since we're so light on removal. I guess let's take Chronicler. I don't really want another Snapper. This is kind of, I don't know, maybe a little bit suspect, but if we do end up picking up another couple of good red cards, like we see a really good red rare or something, maybe we do it. So another Zephyr Void's a little bit rough since we are trying to play Tempest Djinn and Merfolk Trickster, and maybe Splash for Sly's activate ability, although that might be kind of crazy. But on the other hand, Radiating Lightning, we already have one of, and we're probably not playing red, so. Okay, still don't like Rescue much. Guardians of Koilos is okay. Yep, just cut blue there. And, well, this draft has definitely not been a give. I feel like we've gotten a couple of different calls for different directions. I think out of this pack, we're just going to take the Mox Amber. This is worth about $5 online, and that actually helps us pay for the draft kind of all on its own. There's Cast Down, which would be another reasonable splash card. Another Slimefoot. Although I think that somebody else is definitely in the Saproling deck. We haven't seen much for that. So they'll be happy to see another one in the draft. The only card I think we'd really be happy taking here was Aven Sentry. Let's take Mox Amber. This is not a card you particularly want to play in a draft deck, but this is good value just picking it up and being able to sell it off, so happy with that. Another Cloud Reader Sphinx? That might just be the way we're winning this game. Or these games. There's a Rite of Belzenlock, which I like a lot, but we're a long ways away from black. Actually, oh yeah, Firefist Adept's pretty good too if we were gonna try and be red. We still could be, and I like the fact that actually we're heavier blue than anything else because of things like Tempest Djinn. I think we're just gonna take Cloud Reader Sphinx. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we've missed signals? I'm having a tough time actually kind of seeing which direction we were supposed to have gone in this draft. I feel like we're not getting paid off inordinately well. But we do have Call of Cavalry, which is a fine card, and we have Skittering Surveyor, which Devil Splashing for Shalai might be a little bit ambitious. She's fine as a 3/4 flying for 4, though. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna take Call of Cavalry. These do a good job of like gumming up the ground if we're trying to kill with flyers. This is just a pretty good rate card in general. I'm just sad that we can't play things like the Grand Warlord. Ooh, that's a great pickup. Really, really wanted to see a Blessed Light. We're so light on removal. Being able to pick up something here is really, really a give. Yeah, we might wield the Divination. I'm not sure we'd play 2, but another Fall of the Thran. We could play Slinvoda. Not really on board for that. This card does end games. Song of Frailisa has been impressive to me. There's also a Gitu Chronicler. I think we really are pushing for white here, though. And we're just so light on playables. I guess Relic Runner? I mean, we may just need to play it here. A couple more reasonable red cards. Skizix. I think I'm just going to take Power Stone Shard here. And hope to ramp into like Cloud Reader Sphinxes and the like. This card also is not particularly exciting, but it is playable, and we are light on playables. Yeah, I don't know, like... So now this pack actually looks fairly good for us. Maybe it's just been kind of a rough draft. Dauntless Bodyguard's fine. I'm going to take Deep Freeze here, though. We want the removal for sure, and this is not, like, absurd removal, but pretty good removal, especially when we're in the Flyers deck. Another Adelies, which we're not going to play. Guess we take Charge. It'll do if we really need another playable. Okay, Adamant Will is better. We've also got Blood Tallow Candle. I don't think the Arcanist is really what we want to be doing here. Yeah, I'm okay taking a combat trick. And this is a pretty good combat trick, too. So, Artist Sister's Assistant or Second Opt. How many historic cards are we playing? 2, maybe 3? Yeah, let's take Opt. Another Curator's Ward, but maybe we'll play 1. I guess if we manage to stick it on Shalai, that's kind of sweet. Just all my opponent's removal turns off. Okay, actually, I am not unhappy to see Tolarian Scholar. We're so light on playables. We, despite really kind of struggling for our last handful of cards, Slenvoda, maybe we'll side this in if it's a really, really slow deck. It is pretty good against Saplings, I guess. I was going to say, despite being really tight on playables and just kind of barely getting here at the end, we're in a deck that's pretty good for Tempest Gen. We're very, very heavy on blue. And the power level in this deck is just not exciting, though. Like, these Relic Runners are things I'd rather not be playing. Probably would rather not play Power Stone Shard. We're 23 right now. Can main deck Invoke the Divine or Charge. I guess Guardians of Koilos or Short Sword. We don't really have any payoffs for these. But maybe we just need cards. We're not rebuying really anything off of this, right? Maybe we play Slenvoda. This card is really rough. But maybe we can, like, opt it away, that sort of a thing. It does tend to win the game, but it's so expensive. I really don't like Curator's Ward, but I guess maybe at worst it's another Divination. Yeah, I guess maybe we're cutting, like, Relic Runner. I kind of feel like we could play 24 lands, or 16 lands, given how many, like, opts and random things we have. But actually our curve's pretty high, and maybe we'll just try and use the Scries to get rid of extra lands in the late game. So I think we can cut one more card. Maybe it's the Guardians. Okay, Slenvoda, the dream card here. It's really a shame that we couldn't get more all in on Shalai, but this is a good card even on its own, even if we're not really activating its full potential here. Okay, let's add in some lands. Do we want Zephyrin Void? We have a lot of Scry already. Not that more Scry is bad or anything. Having access to mana might be important. I think I'm going to play 1. And then deck recommends 12 and 4. Let's do like 11-5. I think that gives us not terrible chance of finding Tempest Gen, especially with like things like Opt. And then still means we maybe could play like Mace Unicorn on time. Yeah, not in love with the draft, but I don't think the deck is horrendous either. For as tough time as we had getting playables, this actually came together fairly well. We have some very powerful cards. We're just a little bit light on like medium cards, I guess. We've got a lot of good cards and a lot of kind of bad cards. But all the same, that's the draft. I'll see you guys for match 1. We are back for match 1. Our opponent is playing first. We have a little bit of a questionable hand, but I think I'm going to keep. The problem with this hand is we could just draw no lands and never do anything. But the upside is if we draw like one more land, we have Divination, and that can help set up the 4th land drop. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty okay with this hand now. Play Blood Tallow Candle. We're going to play Islands as long as we can, because we want to be able to play Tempest Gen, have Tempest Gen be as big as possible when the time comes. White-green. Uh-oh, Jousting Lands. Alright. Seems aggressive. Casting Lance is kind of annoying. If you're on the beatdown, it's very, very hard for your opponent to effectively block without good interaction. We may very well really regret not picking up one of the blink of an eyes. We ended up with 3 Cloudrider Sphinx and no blinks, which is kind of unfortunate. Okay, so we can play Tolarian Scholar. Doesn't block Sparring Construct, but if they use their next turn to equip, that's not the end of the world either. I think it's better than Divinating, since we already have land drops. What a highly mediocre card. Mediocre might even be charitable, but it is a card. We can play it. Giant Protector. That's actually kind of a wombo with the lands. Fair enough, fair enough. So we're going to be in the position where we can call the Cavalry and Tolarian Scholar if they go for it. If they have a trick, it's kind of bad. We could just not play into it and deep freeze the Kaya's Protector. Let's see, they're going to have, yeah, they'll have enough. So they're going to play a land next turn, they equip, swing, and it's also 6. No, that's still okay, because we'll have 7 toughness. If they have any trick, the blood is absurd. We have a Blessed Light in hand. I actually think I'm going to make the slightly more conservative play and deep freeze this. Well, I don't know. On the other hand, if my opponent just plays like any reasonable creature, what are we doing? Are we going to start chumping the Jousting Lance? Like, if they do swing, we could just chump block with 1 and not get too far in and then deep freeze, and we get a pretty big mana advantage then. Yeah, I'm going to call it Cavalry, I think. Very good card. Happy to have it in the deck. Yeah. We could swing with the Tolarian Scholar if we're really not planning on blocking. Nah, let's see if they're brave enough. I think they'll probably equip, yeah. So let's see. What's the line? Swing with a Sparring Construct means my opponent expects me to double block, which might mean that they're thinking that frame of mind because they don't have a trick. They're like, well, we'll just trade, and that's okay. Do you have a trick? I guess you could swing with this if you had a trick too. You don't really want to put +1 counter over there. The problem is, I think this is a reasonable attack for my opponent either way. But on the one hand, it's like a fine trade, and on the other, it's just absurdly good for them. I really think my opponent's probably got something. Do we call it anyway? Oh, somewhere on the internet they're jumping with glee. How bad is it if it fails? We deep freeze. They move the Jousting Lance, I'll reaching another 3. Alright. Oh, I'm scared. Okay. Nothing. Oh, wait. Oh, interesting. Not killing it now. Okay. Blood Tallow Candle. Okay. Well, we called the bluff. We did not get punished. I think we're just going to Divinate here. Don't really want to deep freeze this for free. Let's Divinate, though. That'll almost certainly help us find another land. Ooh, and Merfolk Trickster. It's actually not bad. So if they don't play a threat, but they just like equip and swing, actually Merfolk Trickster kind of wrecks them. I guess not terribly, but they lose first strike, right? No, because they're still equipped with the Jousting Lance. I don't think it works that way. I guess we could still double block, though. I might as well swing with the Knight. No real downside. Okay, we can also opt next turn. Or I guess at the end of this turn. My opponent's running out of cards a little bit. They have a Memorial of Unity one of these days. Okay, so it looks like they're just going to equip up the Sparring Construct. Okay, went and found red. They do have Memorial of Unity to try and fill back up a little bit, but I think we're actually doing pretty okay here. Yep. And I'm going to let my opponent attack, and we're just going to double block. It does lose first strike. Weird. Okay. I guess we're just going to trade like that and leave the Vigilant Knight. Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure I would have followed that interaction, but fair enough. Cloudrider Sphinx. This is a good card. Scry 2. I guess we could have opted first. Ooh, those are both good cards. Yeah, I think we just want both. So we can just opt and draw in. I guess that's fine. Let's put Cloud Reader on well, actually Shalai on top maybe, and then Cloud Reader. That doesn't leave us as mana efficient. I guess we're going to draw both, though, aren't we? And then we can Cloud Reader Sphinx, because we're going to use the opt. So I guess it doesn't really matter. That's top, top, play an island, go ahead and swing. And now we're just pretty massively ahead on like cards. We have 2 removal spells, we're drawing a couple of really great cards. Uh-oh, this looks big. Okay, kick out Baloth Gorger, does still run into Deep Freeze. Oh, I should have opted. We even said we were going to do that. I guess it doesn't hurt us quite as much here. Well, no, I should have opted there. That's okay. The Deep Freeze that. Oh, it's still got the counters, but it's a defender, right? Can't attack, yeah. That's a good thing to remember, though, that doesn't actually completely clean out the Baloth Gorger. I guess let's opt now. Top, just draw it. We could wait till my opponent's turn to opt. I guess maybe that would mean they play around like a combat or a counter spell, but I think of my opponent, I'm just playing into anything at this point anyway. Uh-oh, this looks big too. Oh, okay, I don't care as much about Croson Druid. A lot of life is nice, but not absurd. Just gonna play another Cloud Reader Sphinx here. Don't really want either of those cards, honestly. Swing with our Sphinx, but not the Knight. That does buy my opponent a lot of time, especially because we're not like an absurdly quick killing deck. I mean, we're still gonna have 9 power and play next turn flying, so that's probably gonna get the job done, but 10 light's gonna gain between 1 and 2 turns for sure. And the Croson Druid can start swinging with the Jousting Lands. Ooh. That's a problem. Okay, alright, alright. So, definitely not gonna block. We take 8 though. Wonder if we should just chump the Knight. It may not be doing any better than this. Probably not. We're gonna have to Blessed Light, I think that. Or Deep Freeze. I guess if we draw a land so we can play Shalai as well. I think we're jump blocking. That's a lot of damage. And that's never gonna be able to swing like past the Baloth Gorger, for instance. Mesa Unicorn. So I guess we like Deep Freeze plus Mesa then, and get rid of Quende. Quende? Something like that. It's a cool name, even if I can't say it. Yeah, so let's get rid of this. Play Mesa Unicorn. Swing with our Cloud Reader Sphinxes. And my opponent's actually recovered better than I would have expected. They've had a couple of really good plays in a row. Baloth Gorger into Kick Druid into Quende. Equip Jousting Lands. That's pretty good when you're top decking. They haven't had to crack the Memorial of Unity, although one of these turns that's going to get them some value. Swing in, it's fine. He's so pretty when he's blue-white. Shauna's kind of big, but not absurdly big. Just gonna play Shalai here. That does increase our clock by 1 turn, which is fantastic. Okay, they're gonna use a Blood Tallow Candle to kill off a Sphinx. A little bit interesting they don't go for Shalai since that's better. Yeah, okay, I think my opponent's recognizing that. No? Maybe not. The Sphinx is vanilla at this point. Shalai does have some upside, even if it's not huge. Okay, you got it. Well, I guess it buys them time, though, too. Since the Cloud Reader Sphinx would be swinging this turn. Okay, well. We are pretty much top decking now. My opponent has clawed their way back into this. We do still have 2-turn clock without any interaction. We have both Blood Tallow Candle and Blessed Light. We're not doing terribly. Another like Croson Druid would definitely put my opponent out of range, though. Kind of say they're cracking Memorial here. No, oh dear. Oh, we're super dead. Alright. Okay, alright. That's pretty sweet. Fortunately, Shauna doesn't actually have... Are we dead? We might just be dead. Can't swing with that. Shauna doesn't have tramples, that's good. So let's see, this is 10, 12. We're going to be at 17. That might not be quite enough. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 12. We block one. Oh, wait, I thought this was a defender. What? Oh, it's just blue wall. No, it does have defender. How's this attacking? What the heck? Is that a bug? Chant creature's base powers has defender. Am I missing something? I must be. Someone said I was confused about that as well. I think that's probably a bug. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, so our blocks are fairly straightforward, I think. We're gonna block Shauna. Something has something to do with the spell they cast? Yeah, it's maybe a bug that allows things to attack that aren't otherwise supposed to be able to or something. We're dead then though, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 12, 16, I guess we go to 1. That's unfortunate. That couple of points of damage is going to matter, I think. Alright. Well. Not too much that can be done about it. Okay, so my opponent's going to have 2 attackers next turn. We can play Blessed Light and try and chump block. And try and get there. Although if the Ballast Gorger... wonder if the Ballast Gorger can be able to attack next turn? Not just impossible to say. Okay, well, let's get rid of that. And play Relic Runner. And hope we can chump my opponent's, in theory, just 1 creature. It's going to be a close one way or the other, guys. It's going to be a close one. Have we got him? Don't attack. Don't attack. What the heck? It's got Defender. Ugh. Well, that's... Ugh. Frustrating. Okay, well. GG, I guess. Deep Freeze just not doing what I want it to. Yeah. Okay, well, I took a screenshot of it attacking, and I suppose I'll submit that to Wizard support. They're actually very, very helpful in general. That is frustrating. Okay, well, let's see if we can't win these next couple of games. But usually, either they'll be able to explain why I'm missing something, in which case you guys probably are all aware too. Or there's actually, like, they'll reimburse me or whatever else, so... I'm not sure there's anything we really can sideboard. We just don't have a whole ton of cards that are great for it. Guardians actually might be better than another Relic Runner. It looks like my opponent's kind of slow. Or like slow enough that we can go for that. And Relic Runner I think is usually just going to be like a bad chump block, whereas the Guardians of Coalesce might be able to keep something back or trade. So let's run this, see if we can't pick up the next couple. That does make Deep Freeze quite a bit worse. My opponent can swing. Most of the time it's going to be the same. The counter is the only thing that mattered there, but... yeah, let's keep this. It's not fantastic, but it's got lands, it's got spells. I don't think you ever toss a hand like this. Alright, well, definitely going to start out with Islands. Never know when we'll be able to play a Sweet Djinn. My opponent did play well. I mean, they managed to find kind of answer after answer, and I thought we were pretty much unbeatable at that point, but my opponent found a way. Okay, so that op draw means we're not going to be able to drop the dream, like, Djinn play if we draw, like, Island plus Djinn or something, but not real likely in general. Okay, Jousting Lance. Let's go ahead and opt, see if we find anything. I'm just going to put that on the bottom. We don't really want another land. Yeah, so Fear and Void. Let's keep digging. Put that on the bottom. And swing for 2. So next turn we don't have any good play unless we top deck. But the turn after we have Cloud Eater Sphinx, which isn't terrible. Sylvan Awakening was pretty good that last game for my opponent. Okay, no play. I like no play. I don't think there's any instant speed like Flash Creature that really destroys me there. Looks like not. It looks like I imagine my opponent will have like a Gorger or something here. Guy's Protector. Pretty good. So it's a little bit unfortunate because I really want to be able to play the Cloud Reader Sphinx. I guess that means we have to leave the Relic Runner back. We can chump block, but then the Sphinx is in the air. Coldwater Snapper is not going to answer that very well either. I think we do need to try and dig for an answer to that, though. Let's play Sphinx and just accept the fact the Relic Runner is going to do its duty as a chump blocker here. So yeah, let's just put those both on the bottom, because we're not beating this combo right now. Okay, just equipping up the Jousting, or the Guy's Protector with the Jousting Lance. Seems like a pretty good combo. This might be one of the few ways the Guy's Protector ends up being pretty good. Let's be blocked. Rest in peace, Relic Runner. You had a good run. Not a great run, but an okay run. I think we're still playing Cloud Reader Sphinxes here. I guess both of them can double block. My opponent doesn't have a trick. I guess we should play a Plains, because we might find, like, Opt. Okay, we did find Opt. Next turn, I think we do want to... Well, do we just want to play Slin Voda? We are currently at 6 lands. So I guess we take the turn off. Next turn we have 7, so we play like Coldwater Snapper plus Opt. So I'll put Divinate on the bottom. Hitting Slin Voda actually seems fairly okay. Let's put that on the bottom, that on top. I think we can get away with drawing. Not gonna block. We're not gonna attack, and you just need to try and set up a double block. My opponent's got a trick, it's gonna be bad for us, but... Throw from the Ashes kicked, I am okay with that. Does enable a splash, but it's not a super like proactive play for my opponent either. If they have any removal or something here, it is quite bad for us. It's really banking on both Sphinxes being able to attack. Sphinx Eyes, Sphinxins. Yeah, a lot more Envoy. Unwilling to trade. Let's play our Opt. I don't really care about that, I don't think. Adamant Will. That is good against Guy's Protector. Play that. My opponent didn't have a trick last turn. They don't have a trick this turn, though, probably. Let's play a Coldwater Snapper, and we'll just swing with 1 Cloud Reader. And we may be able to work our way through this game. My opponent, admittedly, they played Grow from the Ashes, so it looks a little bit worse than it probably is. But it does look like they've flooded pretty hard here. Alright, yeah, swinging. Might just be willing to trade for the Cloud Reader Sphinx. Not too much we can do about it. Oh, interesting. No trick, but they want to get rid of the Snapper more. Huh. Okay. Ooh, Steel Leaf Champion. That's big. Equipping, no, Mammoth Spider. Okay, actually, Adamant Will help us get past Mammoth Spider. Are we just going for it here? We could play Slin Voda, which is huge. What are the odds that we actually get to kick this card? Not real high, right? We could swing with both of these, and it's just a chump swing, or not a chump swing. It's actually not that different from Adamant Will. I don't think we're going to get a chance to kick this, realistically. So I think we're going to swing with both of these guys, and then play with Slin Voda. And then if my opponent like equips up the Mammoth Spider, Adamant Will get him pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a nice play. Not incredibly surprising block there. Alright. Giant Leviathan. You're not quite giant enough to send everyone back to shore, but we'll allow it. And this is actually creatures to our owner's hands in general, so I'm not even sure. That makes it worse. At least most of the time. Alright, so we're hoping that my opponent doesn't have too many more answers. That's fine if you want to really go to town. Ooh, Devil Jousting Lance. Okay, Steely Champion's biggin. That is a fat creature. We take 9. Fair enough. Ouch. My opponent's in a little bit of a rough spot because we actually have not lethal but close to it now. Ooh, we also have Blood Tallow Candle, which we could do instead. I guess let's swing with everything. And maybe then just Blood Tallow Candle. Yeah, my opponent blocks. Probably just jumping. Yeah, so it takes 3. I think we play Blood Tallow Candle and just kill off the champion here. Well, I guess we if we were going to do otherwise, we should have done that during combat, so. Okay, Blood Tallow Candle doing a good job of being one of our last cards. But a not unreasonable one. So my opponent could swing for like 7 here, but... Well, on the other hand, what if they have like Gift of Growth? That would be pretty disastrous. Yeah, hopefully no Gift of Growth. That would be, I would cry a little bit. So they swing here, they got it. Okay, Ballast Gorger's fine. I don't care too much about that. Okay, so we have just lethal on board now, right? Nice. Let's go ahead and go to attack, swing with everything. Opponent's just chump blocking. And we will Adamant Will, one of our Sphinxes. Okay, well, we're 1-1. Got a little bit of justice after our last game. Don't think we're changing anything, right? I wonder if we want Invoke the Divine. The Lance feels kind of unexciting, but on the other hand, we're playing a bunch of kind of unexciting cards, and Invoke the Divine looks like it's going to have targets at the least here. It also looks like it's fairly likely we're going to end up in some sort of racing scenario, since it's happened both games. I don't know if that's just because me and my opponent like to race, or what, but... Let's cut Power Stone Shard, I think. It's not a very exciting card. It does ramp us over the kind of empty 4 slot, but... Yeah. Invoke the Divine it is. Hey, we sideboard. We only have like 2 sideboard cards, but we're using one of them. Not fantastic, but keepable. Sulfuran Void actually is pretty nice here as an opening play. Ooh, or Opt. So Opt is kind of nice because it lets us play Island, and therefore maybe would let us play our Djinn. We want another land? I don't think so. Ooh, there's the Djinn. Okay, so actually we're going to sandbag the Sulfuran Void here. Okay, Llanowar Scout, not particularly scary, although it is at its very best right now. So let's just pass the turn. Yeah, this is nice. I mean, one of the reasons why you pay, or why you play these kind of awkward mana bases, I guess, is for Tempest Djinn. Guy's Protector. We have the Adamant Will, actually, to protect that, which is nice. I think we're still putting stuff in the bottom. I guess this next turn it would have to trade, wouldn't it? So in that case, we could play Relic Runner instead. Since it's trading, unless my opponent's got a Lance. So yeah, I actually think I like that better. So let's play the Void. Try and find Plains, I guess. We want to find Adamant Will pretty badly. Put that on the bottom. And then play Relic Runner. Guy's Protector is actually kind of a real card with the Lance. The lore effect isn't really all that absurd, but okay. My opponent wants to trade here, I'm happy, and I'm not super unhappy if these a combat trick either. Yeah, okay. Fine by me. Okay, so we haven't found white yet. I think unfortunately we're just going to have to toss the Tempest Djinn in, and it will trade with the Guy's Protector, or at least try to. My opponent's got like another Arbor Armament. We'll get kind of wrecked. Okay, cracking Memorial to Unity in response. But if they have like another trick, chances are Guardians of Koilos can trade with the Protector. And we do have a Divination to maybe help us refuel. We're still stuck on white, which is unfortunate, but okay, opponent's pondering over the Memorial. Probably a bad thing for us. Mammoth Spider. Okay. Spider is good. Actually, the 3 power doesn't kill a lot of the stuff we care about, but it is still good. Yep. So we got a block. Unfortunate, but it's okay. They have another trick? I would cry a little bit if they had another trick. Ooh, this is gonna be bad. Gift of Growth. Okay. It's big. Okay. Don't care too much about Sparring Construct. And there's Invoke the Divine. We have definitely bricked on our lands, though. Okay, Guardians of Koilos, do your duty. Guard. Hopefully they're out of tricks by now. One of the 2 cards they have in hand is Mammoth Spider, which, while good, is not, like, super aggressive or anything. Okay, just playing the Spider. They have 1 card left over. Let's Divinate here, because that's all we can do. Okay, we found plans. Cool. Let's play a Mace Unicorn. Now we're just going to pass it back. So we're at a reasonable life total. We have Slinvoda, which maybe takes over the game. We have Invoked the Divine, so if my opponent finds a land, we won't just die to that. It's a little bit awkward here, because I really don't want to swing with the Mesa Unicorn, because we could Adamant Will and kill both of these creatures, but my opponent just buffs up the Mammoth Spider, and that's bad for us. I think we're just going to pass. We're going to have to try and Adamant Will on our turn. Well, no, it doesn't even kill off the spider, does it? That's bad. Yeah, I think we just pass, which feels a little bit bad, but we just don't have anything great to do with our mana. I think both of these cards will have the potential to be better on later on. I can't decide if this this gal in the art here looks like she's super defiant or like, ah, that almost killed me. Probably a little bit of both. No swing. Okay. Dayleaf Champion, Adamant Will answers that not terribly. Just gonna play a Coldwater Snapper this turn. I actually think there's not an unreasonable chance that we can bounce everything, which I guess doesn't do tons, but we have more lands than my opponent does. Yeah, isn't that even good? I kind of like keeping up Adamant Will. Okay. Now we just need to find some of our Sphinxin. I would really prefer to snipe this Mammoth Spider with Adamant Will, but... Okay, so I think we are just going to go for it, though, here. This is nice because even if my opponent has a trick, they can't really interact. At worst comes to worst, it's going to be a 1-for-1. But the fact that it's hexproof means they can't do too much. Alright, so we're now 1 land off. Just have no good attacks. Do we just play Slin? Slin right now cannot be blocked from what my opponent's doing. Maybe the kicker just doesn't even matter. It's just big. I like big cards. That 8/8 for 8 though. The dream. If only it was a like creature type Brontodon or something. Trust Druid for massive. Not bad. Okay, so we can swing here. Right now they do not quite have enough power to get us. Swing. We're going to keep Deep Freeze available for down the road. That's fine. Interesting they put it on the Llanowar Scout. Nice. That is one of the cards I'm most hoping for. Okay, even Sentry. We're going to put the island on the bottom, Sentry on top. Swing with our big Leviathan of Doom. No blocks for my opponent, and we'll just pass. Opponent doesn't have great attacks. I like having Deep Freeze as an answer to like a kicked Gorger or something. Okay, we're going to invoke the Divine that. We're actually going to get a really good play here. In fact, this is instant's going to be huge. Because they're going to equip to like the Mammoth Spider and swing in. Okay, I guess the Druid. And we're just going to get great value. Oh, I guess actually not. Why would they swing? We've got like... Interesting, why did they put on this? I guess they want to keep the Sphinx back? Regardless, I think we're just going to use it here. We're not going to try and trick my opponent. Well, in that case, nothing changes, right? Yeah, let's just get rid of it. Gain some life. And I think I'm going to deep freeze the spider. It should lose reach, I would think. This actually just speeds up our clock by quite a bit, though, if the Sphinx and the Sentry are swinging in as well. They could just chump with the spider here. Chumping with the Druid, I'm fine with. Now let's play an Aven Sentry. Okay. Well, we took a really long time this game, but I think we are going to be able to pull it out, hopefully. Okay, another kick Druid. Opponent is playing for the long game. Maybe hoping for the timeout. I think at this point we can swing with everything and not be unhappy. Still have Merfolk Trickster at some point in the future. Alright, and I mean, Krosan Druid buys you time, but that's it. And we are just playing tons of Sphinxes, so... Okay, we're gonna put Island on the bottom, Shalai on top. Go to attacks. Alright, yeah, I think barring some like absurd bomb, we are in pretty okay spot here. My opponent's gonna go down to 10. Okay, you got us. That value, though. Really not a huge fan of the Llanowar Scout. Now, even if they had something great, we could still tap it down if it's a creature. Cool, I'm glad that we managed to pull through. So my opponent's shouting out the GGs. And cool, managed to pick up the match there. They drew Gorger, but yeah, not that great at this point. Alright, yeah, long game one. Sorry about that, guys, but hopefully the next two are a little bit snappier. I will see you for match 2 and match 3. We are back for match 2. Have a keepable, if uninspiring, hand here. I think this hand was probably arguably unplayable without the Zhalfirin Void, but because of it, potentially scrying away a land. I don't hate things. Let's go ahead and keep. And we are on the draw, which makes things a little bit easier as well. Ooh, Merfolk Trickster. I actually think we want to play double Island for that. We'll have to get our value from the Void later on. Well, maybe we play Relic Runner. It might depend on what my opponent plays here, if anything. Nothing. Okay, I think we are going to just play the proactive thing and get the Relic Runner down, so we might as well use the Void at this point. Yeah, we're going to bottom that. Any land goes to the bottom. We care about islands more than plains, certainly, but any land goes to the bottom. Benalish Marshal? Pegasus Courser. Fair enough. Okay, so we have Cloudreader Sphinx eventually, which is definitely a nice card. I suppose if my opponent swings with the Pegasus Courser, we could get them with Trickster. Slight upside. A trick would be a little bit of a blowout. Not huge, though. You're just playing Aven Sentry. We actually could steal that instead, although I think I just kind of want to be mana efficient here. So let's play the Trickster. Drop the Pegasus out of the sky here, and we'll just double block. I'm happy to trade my Relic Runner away for the Pegasus, and then the Merfolk Trickster can swing next turn. Not like a broken play or anything, but not a bad one either. Ooh, Shalai is good. I think we're going to play her over Call the Cavalry, although Call the Cavalry is definitely not bad too. Shalai's nice in that she either forces my opponent to use tricks next turn, or is just going to be an unstoppable wall against this Aven Sentry. And even if my opponent swings representing a trick, yeah, this hand's actually worked out very well for us. We've drawn fantastically. Do we block? We do have Blessed Light eventually. Kind of don't hate making my opponent use their mana up if they've got something. And we can just play a Cloudreader Sphinx next turn. Shalai is a 3/4 big beefy flyer in our deck. That's kind of it. Yeah, so trading for like Adamant Will there just isn't that bad. Okay, let's play a Cloud Reader Sphinx. Hope there's no Syncopate. There's not. Yeah, we're just gonna go bottom. Swing for 2, and pass. This time my opponent swings. We still call the bluff. I like my second 3-4 a little bit better than the first. Still gonna have Blessed Alliance up for a little while. Probably still uses up my opponent's turn. Don't love this. We could just take it. Odds are Cloud Raider Sphinx gets to trade next turn, then we know my opponent has a trick. They're more likely to have a 3-drop than they were a 2 to follow up. Because one of the reasons I was happy using Adamant Will last turn is because my opponent probably wasn't going to have a follow-up, which they didn't. Call Cavalry... You know, because we have Blessed Light, I think I'm just going to allow it now. We're getting closer to the point where we're just going to run out of cards to play, and Blessed Light in response isn't bad. Cloud Raider Sphinx my opponent's own. That may have been a mised attack. Hard to know. So this turn we play Call the Cavalry, I guess? My opponent swings with both. We take it, go down to 11, but then we get to crack back for a lot. And then we have Blessed Light the turn after. Sure. I feel like my opponent's outplayed us there somehow. Always going to be a judgment call there. They still have a trick in hand, we're pretty sure. Yeah, they're just swinging with both, though. Like, it's not even that bad. We got into 11. But then we can either remove whatever my opponent plays here and swing for a lot, or... Which might be necessary. This is looking like a good card. Ooh, is that going to be a kicked soldier? That'd be kind of awkward. The lieutenant or whatever. Still not terrible. That would be a good play for my opponent. Another even century. Okay, so we're up to 7 lands. Okay, I think we're going to swing with these, and we're actually just going to try and call my opponent's bluff now, because we do have the instant speed Blessed Light. And it seems unlikely my opponent's got 2 more tricks, so the Cloud Raider Sphinx might be able to just hold on after that. Like, hold off the even centuries. We do have Deep Freeze, too. I guess the worst thing that could happen here is my opponent has an answer to the Cloud Reader Sphinx. And you're just going for it. Okay. Counterspell would be a little bit awkward. That would be 2 out of 3 cards. It's not impossible, though. If Counterspell, we lose that. We still get to swing for 6, probably. Because they probably can't play Combat Trick plus Counterspell plus something else. So my opponent goes down to 4, and then we still have 2 removal spells in hand. Okay, now let's block. Another Adamant Will. Okay. Let's Blessed Light it. Guess we don't have to do it in response, but I don't think it's going to matter. Hopefully get a clean 2-for-1. Ooh, they do have a trick. Syncopate, maybe? Can't be another combat trick, otherwise it's not going to do anything. Syncopate for 3. Okay. We cannot pay for Syncopate. Okay, that's pretty good. Still not dead, but my opponent has had kind of our number all game. Okay, Cloud Reader Sphinx, we actually can't quite play with Deep Freeze. So I think we're dead, right? Yeah, we're taking 6. Alright, well, that was a good run for my opponent. Darn. Okay, I feel like we got outplayed there somehow. It might just be one of those games where my opponent kind of was able to do everything they wanted. We do know about 2 Adamant Wills now. Short Sword actually may not be terrible. Short Sword is a card that would let our 3/4s pair up against like their Cloud Reader Sphinxes. Really don't like Power Stone Shard. I really don't like Slin Voda here though. It looks like it's gonna be a faster game. So do we bring in like Guardians for it? 4/4 looked kind of big on that board, I guess. Alright, let's run this back. Would like to play first, and got a very keepable hand. Relic Runner with Deep Freeze Divination. That's Syncopate. That's good. I don't know, maybe we let my opponent like dictate the game a little bit too much. Maybe we should have tried to block a little bit more aggressively. We definitely kind of got fancy and got punished. I don't think there's too often where we do get punished there, but we did. Next turn we're playing on Divinating, hopefully finding some land drops to work our way up towards Cloud Raider Sphinx. We'll deep freeze any like reasonable flyer along the way. Ooh, actually, Scholar? That means we couldn't deep freeze next turn, but I think that's okay. We're still likely to find land drops off Divination. Swing for 2. Relic Runner doing its job, the only part of the game it can in like the first 3 turns. I really am not high on this card. Maybe if you're somehow in a very aggressive deck that also just is loaded with legendaries, but that feels like a bit much. Let's just Divinate here. An island. Yeah, no good attacks. Opting next turn, hoping to find a land to get Cloud Raider Sphinx online. Blessed Light still remains a very good card against all the combat tricks in the format. So very possible my opponent has Syncopate. Ooh, I like Call the Cavalry, although it's not a land. I think that's okay though. My opponent's got counter spells. We want all the tricks we can get. Okay, so now the question becomes, do we Cloud Raider Sphinx potentially into a counterspell? Or do we call the Cavalry because it's a little bit less good but still fine? I think we call the Cavalry. I think it's very likely my opponent will counter it if they've got a counterspell. And this is fine but not exceptional, whereas the Cloud Raider Sphinx I think is quite good. Okay, so I think that means no counterspell, especially if they don't do anything here. They've got something. Oh, okay. Ratification. It's a good card. Flash Historic nonsense. So that might still mean Syncopate. That's a powerful enough play that I could see my opponent just wanting to trade there. Swing it in. And following up with Cloud Raider Sphinx of their own. Okay, so we're now safe to play our Sphinx, which is nice. The Knights, unfortunately, are not going to be able to swing real well. But opponent went top. That's unfortunate. Do we want to? I guess we want to scry 1 first, right? I do want to play the land, I think. Guardian seems okay, but not absurd. We put Guardians on top. It's going to be swinging as a 4/4. That's basically what it comes down to. Right now we have Cold Water Snapper, which we'd rather play, and Removal. I'm going to put that on the bottom, I think. And that's not just because I want value out of the Cloud Raider Sphinx, but it's basically just because I want value out of the Cloud Raider Sphinx. Tempest Djinn seems okay. It's mana efficient, could let us play something like... well, I guess nothing else in the same turn, but I think it's still okay. Do we keep the other land? I don't think so. Put that on top. No good attacks. So we do have to remember it's very likely my opponent's got combat tricks. Yep. So almost certainly got one here. We just take it. Don't hate that. Next turn we have a pretty substantial crackback. It is tough knowing about that card though. The card is good. It's kind of funny, this is not a matchup where I would think that combat tricks would be fantastic, but they've been pretty solid. And I have New Benalia, just gonna trade for one of our random cards. So, I think we're just gonna play Cold Water Snapper at this point. So if they swing with everything, they actually have 10 damage, but that's assuming no blocks here. And I guess if they go for no blocks, we can always Blessed Light, although the one with I have Syncopate, so we can deep freeze. Oh, I should not have swung with the Relic Runner. That was a mistake for sure. Although, that maybe is a good bluff, because then my opponent might be scared to give up their Courser, since that's their way to lethal. Okay, well, opponent called the bluff. That's okay, Relic Runner probably wasn't doing anything anyway. And that means that they're not going to try and go for lethal next turn. Opponent goes down to 11. Yeah, they can swing for 7 next turn. If they have double combat trick, we lose to that. Alternatively, right now we're at 6. If we find one more blue source, we could deep freeze too. Wonder if we should just be removing stuff though. We could just play it more proactively, like deep freeze, the Cloud Sphinx. Because I've got a combat trick in hand. Probably have Syncopate up, so if we take 6, I think it just gets countered next turn, we just lose, right? So maybe we actually Blessed Light and keep Deep Freeze available. Alright, I think that's our line. This is pretty conservative, it's using one of our better cards in our hand. But I don't think it's bad either. We have good cards in hand, we can probably play it a little bit slower and don't get burned for it. Okay, opponent still swinging with Ratification, seems reasonable. And we are down to 8. Another Sphinx? Oh no. Ooh, Hardic Wanderer. That's a big card. So we can just Blood Hallow Candle. I guess that actually doesn't quite kill it though, does it? We can Deep Freeze it. We can also play Cold Water Snapper and just try and double block it. They have a trick though, it's bad. I think we Deep Freeze plus Candle. Swing with our Sphinx, take my opponent down to 8 and return. We have to be very wary that they just do have a +2/+2 in their hand, almost certainly. Next turn we could Candle something away. That's also on board now, they can't counterspell that, which is nice. Alternatively, we've either got a big ground creature or a big flying creature. Opponent definitely has more cards in hand. Knight of New Benalia, not particularly impressive. Opponent's also in a little bit of a tough spot now because they really just can't effectively block. Okay, so we take 4. Okay. That means the Knights will be able to get in and try and get some damage at least. Opponent has a follow-up. They're tapping out for it. We're pretty close. Divinating again, okay. Doesn't do too much this late in the game, hopefully. Okay, so now we're swinging with everything. I think that just kind of goes without saying. Still lose a double combat trick, but we were dead to that last turn too, so. Block, block. Okay, we're gonna trade a Knight away. Opponent goes down to 5. So we could play Tempest Djinn and avoid combat, or avoid a counterspell. Well, this is basically trading for combat trick. That's okay, and then Blood Hallow Candle kills next turn, and it's on board, so they can't counter it. We're still not winning, but I think we have a shot. My opponent has to have not too much in their hand. They have removal, it's pretty brutal. Icy Manipulator. That is removal. Yeah, maybe we should just Blood Hallow Candled. I don't know. We hadn't seen actually too much legit removal from our opponent, and we had seen Syncopate. But darn. Okay, so pretty thoroughly smacked down by the other blue-white deck, I guess, in the draft. Well, obviously we didn't draft together, but another blue-white deck. That's okay. 1-1, see if we can't pick up match 3. Welcome back for match 3. We won the dice roll. Opponent's got a fancy Zakama. Fine hand. Let's go ahead and keep. Got removal, got card draw, got Trickster, and got Void. Those are all things I'm happy to say. Yeah, I don't think playing one Sulfur and Void has pushed our mana too much, at least so far. Ooh, yeah, Blood Hallow Candle would have been nice last turn. So it's probably not real likely we're going to play the Trickster, so we could just play Void plus Candle. Yeah, let's probably do that. It's a little bit more mana efficient. The Trickster definitely is not going to lose utility as time goes on. Let's just bottom that. Play the candle. Yes. This is not a card I'm real excited about in our deck, but we need the removal, and we need the playables, so it works out okay. Red-green. Probably Stompy. Deep Freeze will be good, assuming my opponent doesn't realize they can attack with it. And yeah, we're actually curving out not too terribly here. Gonna have Cloud Reader Sphinx the turn after next. Probably just gonna drop a Trickster to block the Journey Mage, I guess. Don't really want to use Deep Freeze. And actually we have Adamant Will. That could be a really good trick. Alright, yeah. Lime Filling Trickstery. Haha! Would we play into combat trick? No, probably not. My opponent's just swings. Doesn't tap anything. Yeah, I think we'll just trade. It's okay. I think that's often going to be the role of the Trickster. It's just trading for an okay creature. But when you get upside, that upside is real. Rest in peace. I don't want to use Adamant Will, because if they have something like one of the many removal spells that red can have, we just get destroyed. That's a little bit unfortunate, though. Guy's Protector. Feels like that happens a lot into our Cloud Reader Sphinx. We basically never want to trade away. Do we do it anyway? Yeah, I don't really like using Deep Freeze either, especially against a deck that's likely to have some really big stuff. So we'll just hopefully scry into more good value here. I don't know if either of those cards count. Definitely going to put the Relic Runner on the bottom. And honestly, I think I'm going to put the Scholar on the bottom too. Lands are worse than those, but other than that, those are some of the two worst draws in our deck. And we're trading down kind of in value on the cards, but it's still a 1-for-1 probably. We could Deep Freeze. Kind of depends on what my opponent's hand looks like, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll get rid of that, especially given that we just drew a land. We could just Blood Tallow Candle it, which is better. Candle's more expensive. Alright, yeah, let's just kill this. Because I don't want my opponent to go to like a free point of damage or anything. We're out of gas though. My opponent still looks like they're kicking strong over there. 6 cards in hand. They have missed a couple of land drops. Well, Grow from the Ashes should fix that. I'm sure they were hoping to be able to kick it, but didn't quite get there. And Keldon Warcaller. A fine, if unexceptional card. The Mace Unicorn, we're not going to plan on blocking. We're actually going to try and swing with it next turn. My opponent's more likely to be tapped out then. So Adamant Will won't get blown out. And as it stands right now, like, if we're just racing with these 2 cards, Mace Unicorn wins by a country mile, so. Okay, opponent's up to 6 mana. It's a slew of good things they could have. Could just be like Big Worm. That counts. That will get deep frozen, though. Do we want to use Adamant Will to kill that off? Don't care too much. Yeah, we are going to deep freeze that, for sure. I guess maybe it's worth killing it, given that we have Call the Cavalry. We still just get to swing past, though. It's not even that bad. We're just going to swing with the Mace Unicorn. Because we're going to play Call the Cavalry. I don't think we're even going to try and trade with the Warcaller, but because we don't want to trade with it, we should just gain our extra little bit of life when we can. One is climbing up the mana curve now. Still has more land or more cards in hand than I would like. Uh-oh. Fire Intervention. Okay, that's as 5 mana spells go. That one's not bad for us. Do we use Adamant Will? Don't love it. I think we do, though. If they have a trick, it is bad. This lets us keep getting in for a couple points of damage a turn. opponent's got nothing. We've got nothing. Swing for 2. I think my opponent, when we're both doing nothing though, is happier. They have a ton of... I mean, red-green is like the kicker colors, quote-unquote, so they probably will find some stuff to do. I like a Cold Water Snapper as much as the next Mana Flood guy. Oh, it's still just taking 2, I imagine. Snapper. It's even hexproof. No removal will save you from the Snapper. A mid-sized creature, on the other hand, definitely would. Oh no, short sword. Now you can block the Snapper. Alright, fine. It's a very pokey deep freeze. I guess it's a pretty pokey art, right? Opt. I love me opts. Okay, yeah, I definitely want to play that. Nice. And I actually kind of want both of those. I guess we want Aven Sentry and then Opt. So I put Opt on top, and then Sentry on top of that. Get them, boys. 4 now, though. That is... I mean, we just doubled our damage. The dream. Proof that turtles are better than swords. Ladies and gentlemen, proof. And my opponent's just, like, absurdly flooded here? There's no way they have anything that costs only 9. Oh, okay. That's fair. Okay, so now nothing really changes. We still swing with everything. They still can't block the Snapper. Can't block the Snapper. Well, I guess they can block it, they just can't kill it. I rescind my previous statement. Okay, and now we have lethal on board. Yeah, my opponent must have just gotten, like, absurdly flooded. If they had removal, they'd use it. They had creatures, they'd play them. Yeah, I thought we were doing poorly on the land front, but... My opponent managed to outdo us, I think. Shh. Don't tell my opponent they could swing with the Primordial Worm. This one has Defender now. I don't know what was up with that. Okay, well, we managed to pick up the game. Red-green rampy stuff. Invoke the Divine doesn't seem great. Nothing else seems great. Guardians? Short Sword? Relic Runner just seems so bad. Like, so absurdly bad. Play Guardians. It's expensive, probably doesn't fare super well, but I think it's more likely to be better than the Relic Runner is. A couple points of damage is just not how we're winning this game. I'm honestly, like, I think it's worth considering putting a Short Sword over the other Relic Runner, but my opponent could have, like, a fast start or something, and having another 2-drop helps out a little bit in that situation. Okay, perfectly reasonable hand. We have our 1 lone Relic Runner. At least it's in our opening hand, I guess. Let's definitely keep this. Opponent is on the play. And let's just opt for time. I don't really care if we wait. Macy Unicorn. Yeah, okay. I think we'll keep that. It's not our best drop, but it's not a bad one either. And my opponent has a little bit of a slow start. Macy Unicorn could give us a nice life buffer. It's good with Adamant Will, too. Self-Fear and Void. We've drawn this card a lot. I like this card a lot, so I suppose it's only fair. If they, like, tap out, we'll definitely swing into something here. Oh yeah, there's no way they block, but if they do, the value. And if they don't, the value. Yep, pretty safe free attack there, I think. Let's play the Void. Definitely scrindy land to the bottom. Not Shalai, though. Let's put that guy on top. Okay. So my opponent definitely might swing here, especially if they think, hey, they got a combat trick anyway, might as well. They have a good follow-up. We could Adamant Will. We'd really rather play Shalai, I think, though. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and attack with both. My opponent's probably not gonna block. Okay, well, if they want to call, that's fine too. We'll just play Shalai here. I had nothing, except for I did, but that's okay. Nothing you know about. Okay, and we're not looking bad. We've got the lands in hand for a snapper. We've got Adamant Will. The real danger here is we don't have any removal. And my opponent, if they play just a powerful threat, which red-green definitely is known for their good creatures, it could be in kind of a tough spot. My opponent swings here, we're not blocking. My opponent acting like they've got nothing. Island's not my favorite draw there. Do we swing in anticipating burn? They had burn, I think they may have used it. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna try it. Okay, opponent's got nothing. Happy for that. Yeah, it looks like they may be having kind of a rough draw again, honestly. Ooh, Skizix. Good card. Okay, opponent is thinking they're aggressive enough to get in for it. We are going to take my opponent down to 8. Just kind of a small life total. Okay, we're going to play the Snapper here. No questions asked. And swing with the group. If they swing again, do we block with the Snapper? We have a 3/4 flyer, which my opponent may not be super prepared to block. Okay, well, that was enough for my opponent, actually. Okay, well, it went okay, especially given, I think, how... not terrible, but not great our deck was. Like, ordinarily you'd look at Shalai and be like, oh man, one of the best cards in the set. But since we weren't playing green, I think it just becomes pretty good and not absurd. And honestly, maybe that's just like the story of the deck. We had a whole bunch of very powerful cards. We had 3 Cloudreader Sphinxes, which were fantastic. Blessed Light's good. Had a couple of Deep Freezes. Had our Merfolk Trickster. But then we were also playing things like Power Stone Shard and Tolarian Scholar and like Slin Voda. We just didn't quite get there during the draft as far as playables. But fortunately, it didn't come back to bite us too much. I do think that the Blue-White Flyers deck is alive and well. We handled our first and third opponents fairly well. Our second opponent beat us with basically the same sort of deck, too. I think we would have won the first match even more quickly had Deep Freeze maybe worked as anticipated. I really can't think of any reason why it should have allowed my opponent to attack there. Definitely let me know. It's possible I'm just completely forgetting something, but I can't think of any reason why it should have been able to attack. In any case, as always, I really appreciate everyone that's watching. You guys are the best. Thanks so much for supporting me, supporting the channel. I'll keep providing content as long as you guys keep watching. I'll see you guys next time.